This is an M-rated game, so viewer discretion is advised. Slay the Princess! I love games that tell a story through narration, or being in a place and you have to explore it to expand the story. The ultimate one of these is the Stanley Parable, as it was a brilliant game which used humor and your drive to want to explore the generic area to advance the story and make you want to find all the endings. Firewatch was also great at this, but there was really only one ending to that. Well, there's a second one, but only if you don't get on the helicopter. But it took a fairly boring premise of walking in the woods to tend to it, and made it exciting and even scary at times. I've actually had a few people tell me to play this game, and I saw all the positive reviews on this, and I was excited. Playing it, I have no idea what they were talking about. I thought this was okay at best. The game is about your character coming to a cabin to kill a princess, who you've been told will destroy the world if you don't. There's a narrator who will push you forward. You can choose to ignore him, much like the Stanley Parable. And it can be amusing at times to listen to him get frustrated at the attempts to keep you on task. If you choose to slay the princess without delay, the game will give you an ending. I actually did this first, and it was kind of a joke ending. So if you want to beat the game, it takes about 5 minutes. However, that's not really what you're supposed to do. You can choose to slay the princess, talk to her, or walk away. I know that sounds limiting, but they do change the way these combinations work together. The game will remember what you do, and most of the time when you die, the time will reset. And in the reset, depending on the things you do in the previous life, it'll change how the reset world will look. After 1 or 2 resets, the game will go into a dreamlike world, where the character in it will absorb your experiences and send you back to a full reset to make you do it again. Only this time you need to pick different options. You do this a few times, things go crazy, and I won't spoil it, but then the title ends. With every reset, you'll gain another voice depending on the emotion or thought, which will give you a different perspective on what you're experiencing. I thought it was interesting, but the narrator was the only thing that was consistent. Some of the different voices were better than others. The problem is the game really isn't that engaging. It has about 4 to 5 areas, and while they constantly tweak the way it looks, the ideas stay the same. The only real change is when I decide to walk away, as it had some really interesting ideas. After that, it resets and it goes back to the old gameplay. The main gameplay in this is more tedious than interesting. I saw what they were trying to do, and I do think some people might find it interesting. It has some thoughts on gods and the way you see the world. I found it more confusing than fun, but it is possible I'm just not the target audience for this. Now, the visuals look great, as everything feels hand-drawn, and some environments were really well done. They do a great job of making this simple world kind of scary at times. It wasn't just the same environment over and over again, as when there's a reset, it changes things in small ways, or in other ways it might just be completely different and trippy. There are a few endings to this game, but they really depend on the path you go down to slay the princess, and the way the game resets you. Now, the ending I got seems to be the one that people say is the best ending, but there's no real consensus on really what is the proper ending. The ending I got was fine, if not a bit confusing. After you beat the game, they'll give you a timeline, which will help you figure out how to get all the different resets and see all the story beats. This would have been really helpful before I beat the game, as often I didn't know if I was on a new track or one I've done before. A new voice was definitely the best indication, but you'll never know until you get reset. Slaying the Princess was okay. This is more of a choose-your-own-adventure visual novel than a game. They give you a lot of choices to change the way the game will reset, which could be fun. However, I just didn't find the story compelling, at least not to me. I would wait till this was on sale. This is going to appeal to a very narrow fan of these types of games. It really doesn't give you any reason other than completion to see all the endings. If this looks interesting to you, I would wait for this to go on a really good sale.